Bullet Club.
Hello, welcome back to the channel. For those before, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time with us, we are Leanne Presents. I am Alan. I am your host for this particular video, and this is my co-host. This is Leanne. And as you've already seen from the title card, around about 15 seconds ago at this point, we are now bringing you our full gear predictions for 2024, which is taking place on the 23rd of November, so in a few days' time as this is going up, or a couple of days' time, I guess. Rags is running around like a lunatic somewhere as well, which is kind of like... yeah,
everything is fine.
He's having a bit of one of his moments, apparently. So if you've seen this before, you know how this works. If you haven't, I'm going to run it down just briefly. So we're going to cover all the non-title matches first in the order that I've picked from least looking forward to most looking forward to. Then the title matches in that same order, least looking forward to most looking forward to. I will say this was very difficult.
Yes.
Very, very difficult to try and discern what was what, because this card is absolutely stacked. The only deviation from that will be the 0 hour match, which we will cover in a moment. But first, it's not going to be so much a match. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to do the 0 hour first. We're going to do 0 hour first, okay? So, on the 0 hour, we've got some guy called Big Boom AJ, and he's facing QT Marshall.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. You said the name to me, and I was like, I don't know who that is. And then
Yeah, me neither.
turned up on Dynamite. I think they're like some YouTubers, like I think it's, was it the
Costco or something?
Costco guys or something. I don't know. I think they're just social media people.
So
I think it's a dad and a son. I don't know.
But like, where does this come from? Where's the build? There's been nothing on Dynamite. There's nothing on Rampage. Nothing on Collision. Has this all been done through social media? Has this been done through radio shows? Has it been done through smoke signals?
In Dynamite, I'm sure they said something like, "This has been
20 years in the making." Yeah, and I'm like, and they're like, "Oh yes, you used to be a professional wrestler," and I'm like, "Who the hell is this guy?" I have no idea who this guy is. I really have no clue who this AJ Boom whatever.
If anyone knows what the build-up is and wants to summarize it for us in the comments in a paragraph.
Yeah.
Nothing long.
Challenge mode.
A quick
summarize this in a paragraph for us.
So we know.
Down below.
Yeah, smarten us up, because we have no idea.
I mean, yeah, literally that's what I got. Like, where was the build? Was on social media, and who the hell is this guy? And his bratty little kid.
Do we have to predict this one?
Yes, because it's a match. So if you've got nothing else, who have you got?
I guess QT Marshall, because at least I know he's a wrestler.
You go for QT.
Yeah.
Okay. Who am I going for?
QT?
The other guy.
Okay,
the other guy. Face? So I can't see them bringing him in and then having him lose to QT Marshall. No offense to QT Marshall. QT Marshall is great, but I can't see it happening. That's like bringing in Shaquille O'Neal when they did the whole thing with Cody Rhodes and having him lose.
Yeah, I guess in my head it's a stunt, so... Yeah,
but that's the thing. It's criticized on the product, I guess.
Yeah.
For both, in a sense, I guess. And I just don't think that QT's going to lose because he's clearly the heel in this. I can tell you that much because QT Marshall's always a heel.
Okay.
Cool. That's the only match we've got thus far on the 0 hour.
There may be more.
There probably will be more. We do have Rampage to go, which is airing Friday night, which obviously hasn't happened at this point. So what we'll do, we'll watch Rampage on Saturday. Anything that gets added or anything that changes in the matches on this card and our predictions, if we change our mind about something because of something happening, we will make sure to update the description down below before the pay-per-view actually starts. And then that's going to go from there. That includes the addition of matches as well. They so often sort of dump another there's usually 3 or 4 matches on the pre-show, which is great, which I think is right, the 0 hour. I haven't got my previous notes, so this is a new notebook, so I couldn't tell you, but I'm pretty sure there was either 4 or 5 matches on the last one. It was a Wrestle Dream.
Yeah.
And I want to say there was 3 or 4 on All Out. There was 3 on All In. Yeah, there was a good chunk, and they like to build up that tension. I like to do it's just like filler. And then you get the PLE in this filler.
Yep.
Okay, So the next thing I want to cover isn't so much a match. We're just going to briefly touch on this. Is Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa Champagne Championship celebration.
Yes.
So Mariah May, as everyone knows already, won the AEW Women's World Championship from Toni Storm at All In in Wembley Stadium. And she's been teasing this celebration for months on end. Mina Shirakawa is now All Elite. And now is apparently the time to have this celebration.
Cool.
I'm interested to see exactly what this is going to be.
Yeah.
Will it be the return of Toni Storm? Toni Storm, albeit in a new form. That's where it's going, yeah. Because she has teased on social media, Toni Storm, that she's retiring after losing to Mariah May and losing in New Japan and CMLL, I think it was as well.
Yeah.
Or was Stardom, not New Japan. It's the female federation, as it were, women's federation. Or is this a platform for someone new to debut?
Yeah.
The only person I could think of that could make waves, I really can't see coming over, is the one person who isn't under contract with WWE right now, is Becky Lynch. Can't see that happening. No. Or is this a chance for Mina Shirakawa to turn on Mariah May and set up a title match?
I can't remember what it is, but there was something about on Dynamite when they were talking about the celebration, something that Mina said, in like, maybe she'll turn. But I can't remember what it was.
It's possible. I think it's more likely that Toni Storm's going to return in a new gimmick, a new era, a new something, like a refreshing sort of refreshment of the character almost.
I think if Mina is going to turn, they need a bit more time.
A bit more build up, I agree. Yeah. Cool. So that leads us on to our first of our non-title matches. And as I said, this was ridiculously difficult to decide. We've got 4 non-title matches and we've got 4 title matches. There's a solid 50-50 split.
Nice.
So first up, we're going to cover MJF versus Roderick Strong. So this storyline has been brewing for nearly a year now, with the whole devil thing, and Adam Cole being unveiled as the devil. Undisputed Kingdom, Roddy Strong's in the Undisputed Kingdom. Adam Cole's been off with his ankle injuries, come back. He got kicked in the nuts by MJF. MJF turned heel. Adam Cole kicked MJF in the nuts. He took time off, and now they're both back in the thing. And Adam Cole has been itching to get his hands back on MJF. MJF's like, nope, not going to happen. Actually, you know what? Tell you what, I'm going to pit you 2 against each other. Roddy Strong and Adam Cole, you both want a bit of me. How about the first one to win 3 matches back-to-back gets me at Full Gear? So that's where they started then, the best of sort of who gets to the 3 first. Tony Khan threw a little spanner in the works in that sense, as if both Adam Cole and Roderick Strong got those 3 wins, it would be a triple threat. Spoiler alert, Adam Cole failed to win 3 matches in a row. So he went through Buddy Matthews, he went through Malachi Black, he failed to fend off Konosuke Takeshita.
Thanks to MJF paying people off.
Thanks to MJF paying off the Don Callis family. And the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Konosuke Takeshita walloped, per se, Adam Cole with the Dynamite Diamond Ring.
MJF 1 step ahead, at least.
3 steps ahead of this, right? Roddy Strong did win his matches, despite Don Callis' family best attempts. So this is where the matches come from. There's not really much else with this one. Obviously, MJF is a very marked person right now. He's got a lot of bullseyes on him from a lot of different people, especially the Undisputed Kingdom. Adam Cole will get his comeuppance at some point, maybe at World's End, or the complete year culmination, I reckon. Because obviously that's when he unveiled himself as the devil last year at World's End after he lost the title to Samoa Joe. I mean, that's pretty much all I got on that one. Roderick Strong is fantastic. MJF, as much as you love to hate him, he's also fantastic. Adam Cole, it would have been really cool to see the dynamic with the 3-way here with Adam Cole and Roddy just fully team up to beat down MJF, who would get the pin. Who would one of them just step back and be like, okay, yeah, you take it, and how would that play off? And I'm kind of curious as to how that would have played out, but we're not going to see that, unfortunately.
No.
Any final thoughts on this one for me?
MJF cut a pretty dark promo against Roderick Strong. Bringing up his past and his parents.
His mother shot his dad. Roddy's mother shot Roddy's dad.
Still have a thing in my head of I don't know quite if that's shoot or work.
I mean, Roddy didn't kind of deny it. I guess it kind of might have happened.
Might have happened. Anything could happen. America's a violent place.
Spin on. Let's not get into that track.
Yes, but that seemed to, when Roderick Strong kind of responded to that, it seemed to more fuel him than then set him on edge. It didn't
Yeah.
seem like it was gonna.
It sounds like he's been
tip him
having that
over.
kind of arc all his life, and it doesn't affect him anymore.
Yeah, so that was a really interesting dynamic to see. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
In that aspect, then, who have you got?
MJF.
MJF to win?
Yeah.
Any reasoning why?
I feel like the build-up is towards MJF versus Adam Cole. And if MJF loses to Roderick Strong, I think that sort of loses its momentum a little bit. So if MJF wins, Roderick Strong's in a bad way, Adam Cole's coming out to his defense, and it's a bit emotional and builds to a match between them. Maybe they will get a triple threat somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I agree. MJF's winning. As you say, it wouldn't benefit the whole Adam Cole storyline to have Roddy win. Because at that point, why is Adam Cole the leader of Undisputed Kingdom as well?
Yeah.
And then that would be a coup, and then they'd decide to push him out and whatnot, and then you'd
Upsets
have a whole
the
different storyline
dynamic,
coming into it. The interesting thing is, obviously, Kyle O'Reilly's been kind of not interjecting himself in this per se, but he's kind of been coming out and being like, just let it go.
He's been saying some things, but not
really.
really.
MJF's like three moves ahead of you. Just stop it. Just ignore it. Just leave it be. But Adam Cole's dogged. He's determined. And Roddy.
Makes you wonder what his motivation is, Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, I mean, he's part of the conglomeration, so I mean...
None of your business.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so that's that one. So the next match we're going to talk about then will be whose house?
Swerve's house.
Swerve Strickland is taking on Bobby Lashley.
Yay.
Bobby Lashley, the powerhouse. The absolute juggernaut of a man, Bobby Lashley. Mr. No Hair. Mr. No Eyebrows. It's he's actually got a condition.
Yeah.
Can't grow hair. It's an actual condition. So MVP debuted. I can't remember when, but Shelton Benjamin followed shortly.
Yeah.
Said, "This is my new business partner, Shelton Benjamin." Everyone's like, "Oh, wait! If those two are there, and they literally left it for probably like 4 or 5 weeks. And Swerve beat Shelton Benjamin on Friday Night Dynamite on Halloween, and MVP's on his phones. Yeah, now it's time. Lights go out. Out comes Bobby Lashley. And they open a beat down on Swerve, leave him laying in the ring. Hurt Syndicate is here.
Hurt Syndicate.
Happy with that. So Swerve has been trying to kind of get a one-up on the Hurt Syndicate, and it's not really been working because they got the numbers. Yeah. However, on this week's Dynamite, he kind of did. He kind of blindsided Lashley with a chain around his fist.
Yeah.
Almost like a hit and run. Just dived in, slammed Bobby Lashley with his chain around his fist, ran off, and then MVP and Shelton Benjamin kind of like got knocked over as well in the kerfuffle. He gave his coat to someone else backstage, and they grabbed this poor guy and they dragging him up, and it's like, wait, you're not MVP, you're not Swerve Strickland. And then in the ring, you have Prince Nana coming out, and they really pulled a coup with this one. Yeah. Nana's got his chair, and Shelton Benjamin's going up the ramp after him, and MVP's kind of looking around behind. And out from underneath the ring comes Swerve with his fist wrapped in a chain, and he just starts pounding on Lashley. In comes MVP, beats out MVP with a chain. Out Shelton Benjamin just back in, he hits him with a chain. He hit the last call, or house call rather, on Bobby Lashley, followed by the Swerve Stomp. And yeah, he finally got a one-up on the Hurt Syndicate.
Yes. Swerve's house.
Whose house?
We did that the wrong way around.
Yes, you did. Yeah, we did. Yeah, you jumped the gun a bit there. Yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see MVP in AEW.
Yeah,
I think he's probably got a bit more free reign in AEW.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Shelton Benjamin's been having some barn burners.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Shelton Benjamin got slept on so hard in WWE that he was just underused, underutilized, just left on the wayside. Why? Look at the stuff he's doing. He's incredible. He's literally one of the best to do it. He's amazing. He
doesn't have the charisma of some of the other guys,
but that's what MVP's for. Yeah. And even Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley's got charisma.
Yeah.
Like, MVP just kind of heightens it. And then obviously you had Bobby Lashley in the mix. Former world champ, former All-American wrestling. I can't remember the NCAA champion as well. Like proper amateur wrestling. He's done MMA. I don't know if he was beaten in MMA. He might not have been, but I don't know the record of Bobby Lashley in MMA. But like all legitimate guys, and they all got kind of slept on a little bit in WWE. And to come over to here and to AEW, I think it's really cool. It'll be good for them. The Hurt Syndicate. I kind of like the name.
Yes.
Hurt Business kind of okay. That was cool, but
Syndicate
sounds a bit basic.
Yeah.
Basic. Syndicate is like, ooh, okay.
They got some. They can pull some strings.
Yeah. Have you got any thoughts on this one?
No, nothing more. I don't think. I think it's going to be really cool though.
Oh
it's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
be hard hitting.
Yeah, I mean, you were Swerve.
action.
Literally was a champion until August.
Yeah.
You carried the belt for over 4 months. Did a great job carrying it. I think he had some really great matches. You've been having some great matches the last few years. Let's be perfectly honest. And obviously, Bobby Lashley. He's had a couple of matches. Well, he had one match in AEW thus far, but we've seen him in WWE. That is probably with the kid gloves on. I'm kind of curious to see what happens with these two, to see how much Bobby Lashley is just going to be like bulldozing as much as you can, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Who you got?
Lashley.
Go for Lashley?
Yes.
Any reason why?
He's only had one match so far.
With Cheeseburger and some other guy.
Yeah, it was a squash match. But I feel like they need to bring him in and show how strong he is. And then they can go from there and have people beat him at some point. But I think his first pay-per-view match, I think he's going to win because he's got to establish himself as that powerhouse.
Yep, I agree. You're going to hit the ground running. If you bring him in and have him lose, it's going to devalue him. Everyone's going to be like, oh, well.
Winning against Swerve, that's huge.
That's big. That's a hell of a stroke.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love it.
One of the biggest guys in the company right now, Swerve. Cool. Next match then.
Yay.
Is the Hangman versus the Switchblade. Adam Page versus Jay White. So I literally forgot how this all started. But obviously Jay White fought Hangman at WrestleDream.
Yeah.
Jay White won the match. Hangman obviously had a bit of a bee in his bonnet about it. So he cost Jay White a match against Christian Cage.
So loser.
Yeah, pretty much. Challenge was thrown out. And the match was made. And they've been kind of dogging each other ever since. Pretty much. You know, they had the tag team match last week where it was Juice Robinson and Jay White against Hangman and Christian Cage. Hangman and Christian Cage did win that when Hangman pinned Juice Robinson. There goes the cat. And it's just been absolute carnage. And so, like, I love the thing when Hangman did come out and screw Jay White at the match with Christian Cage. He sort of rolled back out of the ring and he's just laying there like on the floor. And it's got that image of like,
what have I done?
It's like,
that was so funny.
What was that face, Hangman? What are you doing? And then this like, and I've said this, like, when Hangman was champ, I thought it was very uninteresting. He didn't have the right gimmick or charisma or methods. I don't quite know how to describe it, but this Hangman, he's ruthless, he's brutal, he's savage. And he's just fantastic. Yeah. I think this Hangman is the best iteration of Hangman that I've seen thus far, and I'm very eager to see this carry on down the line.
Awesome. Yes.
And the same I say on the other side, the coin is Switchblade. It's good to see Jay White back. Obviously, he had an injury. He was out for a couple of months, and it was like, oh god, Hangman's obviously beating up Bullet Club Gold. Yes, Bullet Club Gold. I said it. And obviously Switchblade comes in to make the save, and it was like, yes, the Switchblade's back, and that's how obviously the WrestleDream match came about. That match at WrestleDream was incredible. Yeah. I'm expecting more of the same. Anything more from me?
No, I think you covered it all.
Who you got?
Oh, it's hard. Switchblade.
You going Switchblade?
Yeah.
Any reason why?
No. I don't know.
Thank you for watching Lee Allen Presents and all the best content we can give. Any reason why? No.
No, no reason. No, I think it's...
We give you the best content we can. At least I try to.
I think it's an overcoming the struggle kind of angle in my mind. So Hangman's been plaguing them for a while, so needs to get the better of him. I might be off the mark on this one, to be honest, but that's what I'm going with.
Who am I going for?
Switchblade.
Hangman.
Ooh.
Switchblade won at WrestleDream.
True.
So this will be the match that sets up the rubber match. Now, whether or not it'll be they probably won't do another cage match with Hangman this soon after what happened at. Yeah. Yes. So I think this will be Hangman will win this one. So there'll be 1-on-1, and then there'll be a rubber match at some point down the line, whether or not it's stipulation or just a straight match. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I feel that if they're going to carry this down a little bit more, I still feel there's quite a bit left to this. There has to be a reasoning for it. You can't just be like, Hangman's lost 2 in a row and he's PO'd. There has to be like, well, and obviously I don't think Hangman will win it straight. He will probably be up to his usual shenanigans. He'll use
some funny business.
Something. He'll do something to sort of cheat to win it. But then in his mind, he's not doing anything wrong. which
Yeah.
I think is great. The moments where he goes up the face tunnel. It's like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
He's a face in his own mind.
Yeah, pretty much. Cool. And then the last of our non-title match we're going to talk about then is Will, by God, Ospreay taking on the protostar Kyle Fletcher.
Yes.
So, Fletcher cost Will Ospreay the international title at Wrestle Dream. So he was in that match with Ricochet and Konosuke Takeshita. Kyle Fletcher came out and turned his back on Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
And cost him the match. Such Konosuke Takeshita, the Don Callis family, much like Kyle Fletcher, is now the international champion. But as such, because of the attack with the screwdriver and whatnot, Will Ospreay's been out for the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks. In that time, Mark Davis has returned.
Yeah.
So Mark Davis being
the other half of Aussie Open.
Hey, I didn't prompt her with that one. Well done.
I was terrified for a second there.
When he turned up, and I was like, oh, and you were just like, huh? I was like, you don't recognize him, do you?
No, I have learned, I've remembered, which is unusual for me, so I'm proud of myself.
So yeah, Mark Davis is back. It's good to see him back from after his injury as well, which is really cool. Last time I can remember seeing him was at All In last year, because he lost, well, they were the tag champs, the Ring of Honor tag champs, they lost to Adam Cole and MJF. Yeah, so he kind of, Kyle Fletcher went up to go and grab the hug for him, and Mark Davis is like, nope, what the hell are you doing? And he was like, oh, he's siding with Ospreay, and obviously they've been going back and forth a little bit with that, and then when Ospreay returns, and kind of cuts a bit of a scathing promo with Kyle Fletcher in the ring, calling him basically Will Ospreay clone. Only reason you shaved your hair, brother, is you don't look like me anymore. You're still a cheap Will Ospreay clone. Savage. Savage. That was a great promo. If you haven't seen that, go out your way to try and find it. I'm sure it's probably on YouTube, I'd imagine. And then which led us into the match last night, where you had the returning powerhouse Hobbs, Mark Davis, Ricochet, and Will Ospreay against basically the Don Callis family, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Konosuke Takeshita, and obviously Kyle Fletcher. And the short amount of time that we did see Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher in the ring, they were countering each other's moves constantly. It's like, oh my God, this is insane. And it's like they know each other so well.
Yeah.
You know, United Empire, they were in New Japan for a long time together.
Yeah.
You know? And this is why this is my most anticipated non-title match. This is going to be freaking-sane.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good. Not that the other matches we talked about, apart from Big Boom AJ, aren't going to be great, but this is just going to be like,
yeah,
you know, something extra.
For sure.
And obviously they do call Mr. Will Ospreay Mr. PPV. The old Rob Van Dam moniker, Mr. Pay-Per-View.
Yeah.
He just steals the show every time. Any final thoughts from yourself?
Kyle Fletcher's head shaving segment, that was great.
Yes.
I very much enjoyed that. The whole I'm nothing like you. And then you sort of didn't realize what was about to happen, and he gets the raise.
Don Callis like, pulls the thing out of the bag.
He wouldn't. And then he just goes for it. Just
TV.
Like deadpan the camera, so serious, and he just like does a couple of swipes, and he's like, Rah!
Yeah.
It's crazy, and he looks so different.
He does. He does.
It's amazing how much hair can change a man. But it was really impactful. So definitely wanted to give that a mention.
One thing I didn't realize until we had Fletcher and Ospreay literally face to face in the ring. Fletcher's quite young still.
Yeah.
And I always think, I don't know what's in my head, but like I always thought he was quite short. But then he's standing over Ospreay, and he's a good 3 or 4 inches taller than Ospreay, and it's like,
and he's well built.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not necessarily like a power builder kind of guy.
He's like
but
in
he's
the
chiseled.
arms,
He's chiseled. He's got some really cool tattoos and tattoos and whatnot, and he's really invented himself, and I think it's great.
Yeah, excellent.
I think it's kind of what was needed, because I think people did refer to him as Will Ospreay clone or Will Ospreay light, and that's not really fair, because Kyle Fletcher is a phenomenal talent. And do I like... Okay, so in terms of do I like Don Callis? No. But in character, I don't like him. In general, I think that this is a great character. Yes. I love to hate the character, which means Don Callis is great.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
We hate him because we're meant to hate him.
Yeah.
It's the right
I think
thing.
he does such a good job of it, and I can see a lot of the stuff, because he's been in the business for years, that a lot of this stuff with the Don Callis family, he's come up with himself. I guarantee
Yeah.
it. And obviously reinventing Carl Fletcher now with this and just kind of breaking away from United Empire and Aussie Open. I think it's definitely the right move for him to sort of put his own little stamp on himself,
Definitely.
That's definitely a good thing. And the Protostar is phenomenal.
Yep.
Yeah, any other final thoughts from you?
It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. I have no idea who's going to win.
That's the next question, Leanne. Who you got?
No idea.
Who you got?
I feel like either of them could win and really drive the story forwards. Whether that's just my ignorance, I don't know. But I'm going to go with Kyle Fletcher.
Oh, okay.
I feel like this reinvented character should be a bit of a shot in the arm. And it might be shenanigans, but I think he'll get the upper hand and just boost him even more.
Yeah, I can see that, but
maybe
I am quite torn with this one.
I'm glad it's not just me.
I'm going to say Will Ospreay.
Okay.
And as I alluded to earlier, if between now and the pay-per-view something changes or something clicks in my head that I'm thinking, oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to change it. It'll be updated in the description down below. We do have that desired result thing as well. I don't think I want to use it on this one. I don't know what I want to... Actually, yes, I do. I know which one I'm using that one. Yeah, so I'm going to go Will Ospreay for the time being.
Yeah.
I get the feeling... I probably will stick with Will Ospreay. Because, the problem is that a heel is better when they're cheating to win. And if Will Ospreay wins clean over Carl Fletcher, there will be demands for rematches. And that's when the whole Don Callis family really comes into its own. And I think that's kind of where they're going to push it forward. And especially with Mark Davis, they'll probably take Mark Davis and hold him hostage. So Ospreay, like, bro, I've already beaten you. I don't need to beat you again. And then they'll take Mark Davis hostage. Who's to say Mark Davis isn't in on all of this and it's not all a ploy. So they'll get that second match. And then Mark Davis will be like, haha, screw you, bruv. And clock Will Ospreay. There's so many different ways you could take it. That's the problem, and it's
lots of options.
There's a lot of different things going on.
Sure.
Cool. Yeah. So that was the last of our non-title matches. So now we're going to move on to the title matches. The first of these being Mercedes Moné defending her TBS championship against Kris Statlander. So there's been a lot of back and forth with Kris Statlander and Camille as to who's the most strongest woman in the company. Obviously, Camille's quite a big lady herself. Kris Statlander's quite a powerhouse. They did have a match. I think Kris Statlander won it. I'm pretty sure Kris Statlander won it, but they drew that out for quite a few weeks, and I got a bit bored of it.
Yeah.
And since then, obviously, Mercedes is like, well, I'm going to have to do it myself. Yeah, that's where the match come from. So, yeah, she definitely won the match against Camille. And then we've kind of gone, okay, well, you're going to get a match of Full Gear. And since then, there's been kind of like Camille run over Kris Statlander with a car or a truck or whatever it was. And then Mercedes like, what are you doing, you idiot? And then Kris Statlander gets up and starts beating them up, and then they put her through a wall. And then Camille's coming out with her arm in a sling. That was the next week. Yeah, that was a different week. So yeah, Monet was there, and Camille's in the changing room. Statlander gets a hold of Monet and starts beating her up. Camille comes out, and then they all go through a wall, and obviously that's why she's in the sling this week on Dynamite. Mercedes Moné comes out after Kris Statlander wins against Hikaru Shida, and it's like, Camille, go and get him. And she's in a sling, and you can kind of see her second guessing. She's almost like,
what?
But I mean, it's fine. And then she kind of wanders in, gets her ass handed to her. And then Mercedes Moné comes in and tries to hit the backstabber thing.
It was so bad.
Kris Statlander.
She couldn't get her legs in the right position, and then
looked awful.
They tried to turn it into something else. And I'm pretty sure she was meant to hit it and then like hold the belt above Statlander or something, but they had to switch it, so Statlander did a move.
I get the feeling Statlander was meant to use the ropes to counter it, but Monet didn't jump high enough. She couldn't even get
in the right position.
She was trying to get an ass breaker on her, let alone a back breaker, because the height the Monet jumped in that first time, you're just nowhere near it. And then it was like 3 attempts to get high enough. But at that point, Statlander's just kind of leaning forward, allow her to kneel on her back, and it's like, oh my god.
So at that point, if it doesn't work the second time, just change do something else.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's cringy.
But it's Monet for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't really get my hopes high for this match.
No, it's awful. If anything, Statlander's going to carry this one. Guarantee it.
You have to carry her on her back. I'll get up there herself.
I think the biggest thing with this match for me is that Monet has been belittling Camille quite a lot.
Yes.
How long until she snaps, gives her the middle finger and walks off?
It's got to be. Got to be at some point.
You know?
But will it be now?
That's the question, isn't it? And that kind of leads into, if you got nothing else, who you got?
I think I'm going to go Statlander to win.
Yeah.
It might be a desired result. I'll decide after we've gone through all the matches, though, because part of me is like, is this for the title? It is, isn't it?
Yes, TBS title. Only the one title. She is defending the Strong Women's title against someone who I don't remember the name of at New Japan Strong at some point soon.
This might end up being my desired result because I don't think they'll want to take the belt off Mercedes yet, but I can't bring myself to say that she'll win because of that backstabber and everything else.
I can't remember what she's calling it. It's on the bank statement. It's something else. Who have I got?
I think you probably think the same as me. Mercedes to win, but you don't want it to happen.
Correct. I'm going Mercedes, as you say. I don't think that's the right thing to have Statlander winning right now. If anything, the one person I see winning it from Mercedes Moné will be Camille when the inevitable split hahappens. And they've already teasing it. And I think that is going to be the case, that it'll be the split there and it'll be Camille that takes it off her. Because what can Mercedes Moné do against a powerhouse? A brick house, as they call her.
Yeah.
Cool.
Moving on swiftly.
Next match, we have defending the TNT Championship. Scapegoat Jack Perry is taking on Daniel Garcia.
Yeah.
Non-dancing, non-clowning around Daniel Garcia.
Serious Garcia.
He's become quite ruthless, as old Danny. So he kind of jumped up on Jack Perry and kind of called him a joke and a bit of a paper champion, not so much in those words, and that he should start defending it more, and how about you defend against me? And Jack Perry kind of blindsided him, beat him up, and said, "You want your match? You got it."
Yeah.
So last couple of weeks, it's been kind of back and forth in that sense, sort of just kind of bitching about each other. Last week, Daniel Garcia had a match. I can't remember who against. It was on Collision. And Daddy Magic was on commentary, as he's been doing for a little bit. I think he's pretty good on commentary. I like Daddy Magic on commentary.
He's fun.
Not sure why he's not wrestling. Maybe he's injured. Maybe he's just kind of hanging out the boots for a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting transition, and it's kind of cool. Obviously, Taz being out with his elbow, I think it was his elbow, knee, complete knee reconstruction surgery and whatnot. But as the match is taking place, Jack Perry attacks Danny Garcia. No. Daddy Magic. And kind of drags him out to his van. He's beaten up by his van and whatnot. Danny Garcia finds him, turns the tables on him, and starts beating up Jack Perry. And then Daddy Magic joins in and he says, "I got an idea." They strap Jack Perry to the front of his scapegoat truck, take the cameraman, and drive off with him. And it's like, what the hell did I just see? We got the video on Dynamite last night. Yeah. As you're watching this, we just finished watching it. It was on air last night. They drove him to a secluded location, chained him up to a chair, and started smashing his truck up a little bit. Yeah. And Danny Garcia looked like he was going a bit unhinged. Like he was going to start smashing him with stuff. I think Daddy Magic kind of talked him out of it, but
it was more like
kind of cut off.
Garcia kind of smashed up the truck through I think it was a tire iron type thing. And then was like, let's get out of here, and started walking off. And then Daddy Magic was like, "Where are you going?" And off they go, leaving Jack Perry tied up to the chair.
Well, there was a point where it looked like he was going to do it, and Daddy Magic was like, "Wait, you can't."
I don't think he did. He looked like he was going to do it, and just turned around and started hitting the car. I don't remember there being any dialogue, but I could be wrong. I do have an awful memory.
Maybe I'm matrixing that in my brain. I don't know. But it's interesting to see this kind of dark side of Danny Garcia.
He snapped.
I do like Danny Garcia. I don't really find a character in him right now. Even when he was was it Red Dragon? Not Red Dragon. Dragon Slayer, whatever it was he was calling himself when he was taking on Bryan Danielson. It still wasn't necessarily a gimmick I was behind, and the dancing thing, and I was just like, that's stupid. Yeah. Didn't like that at all. And it's like, they're obviously trying to find a niche for him, a gimmick for him. Could this be it?
Maybe.
Ruthless Danny,
Ruthless aggression.
Oh, no. Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how this goes. And obviously, Daddy Magic might be on commentary. Yeah. Will that factor into this match?
Maybe. Yeah. To get involved.
Yeah.
He was very supportive.
If he gets involved, it'll be a disqualification.
But you could get involved secretly.
Or will Jack Perry use him to distract Danny Garcia? Is my taking on it.
Maybe.
Anything else you got on this one?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how the changing dynamics play into it. Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Perry's awesome.
Yeah.
And Daniel Garcia is really good. Like you say, the character's not quite there, but in ring, can't fault him.
Yeah, true. And he's kind of having his program with MJF. Was that last month before? He kind of did show a bit of his chops on the mic. I think he's still got a bit of way to go, but he's definitely working on it. He's getting there. He's absolutely getting there. And I think obviously putting him in this match now, since he has signed his new contract with the AEW, obviously they've kind of gone, right, okay, let's give you some incentives, some dangling that carrot almost, like, thanks for signing, you're in a title match. You know, I think that's rewarding loyalty in that sense. And a lot of people will be like, well, that's not the right way to do it, but
it's a business.
It's also not the right way to go to another company just to be buried constantly and stuck in catering.
Very true.
Just
saying.
Who you got?
Jack Perry.
Jack Perry?
Yeah, I think it might be down the line Daniel Garcia gets the title off him. I don't think it's yet. I think they got some work to do. And with the sort of brutality building, I don't think it'll be a straight match. Got to get some gimmicks in there.
I
disagree.
I do disagree. I think Daniel Garcia has taken it.
Okay.
But I'm using my desired result for Jack Perry.
Okay.
Because I really want Jack Perry to retain it. The problem is, and I said this on one of the previous prediction videos, I believe, it might have been a reaction video, as soon as one of the elite starts losing their titles, it's going to be dominoes.
Yeah.
Who lost their titles recently?
Young Bucks.
Young Bucks.
Very true. I just don't want Jack Perry to stop yet.
No, I know. But again, the thing is that Jack Perry, does he necessarily need a title right now?
No, maybe not.
Would he be more savage trying to chase the title?
Maybe.
Would he go
Revenge?
for different titles? You know, there's different ways you could go with it, and I really like this TNT title. I like the black and the red. I think it looks fantastic, and I don't want to see him lose it, which is why he's my desired result. But I feel that if anything there's two kinds of wrestlers in the world. Okay, there's those who need titles to build them, and there's those who don't need titles to build them. I don't think Jack Perry needs a title to build his character. I feel Danny Garcia kind of does to build his legitimacy.
Okay.
Unfortunately. And I feel that they might be trying to pull the trigger on that legitimacy now with Danny.
Sad face.
Yeah.
But it'll still be a good match.
Oh, it's going to be a good match, yeah. I was kind of hoping they would make it some sort of, not necessarily an ambulance match, but like a scapegoat match. You have to... you
have to tie someone up to a chair in a van.
No, you could just sort of have to lock them in the back of the van or something. Kind of like an ambulance match, but with the scapegoat wagon instead.
Yeah, playing on the kidnapping.
Yeah,
theme.
And then you could really get brutal with it and kind of I think yeah.
Cool.
Moving on to our next match then, defending the AEW World Championship, Jon Moxley is taking on Orange Cassidy. So, Wrestle Dream, Jon Moxley beat Bryan Danielson for the world title, did the whole plastic bag thing again, and he's been obviously running roughshod over the entire roster since.
Yeah.
And there's been a spattering of people like Dark Order, Top Flight, Conglomeration, who kind of trying to beat back this invading force of sorts, which Eric Bischoff calls the NWO 2.0, by the way.
Okay.
All right, go back to 96 when you're still relevant, Bischoff. I'm not going to know that right. And Orange has apparently been the one to sort of stand up to it and be like, all right, I'm taking that title off you.
He did need some persuading, but yes.
He did, yeah, he did. But he finally got there.
Yeah.
You know?
After seeing a man nearly die again.
Chuck Taylor.
Yeah, got his neck crushed. Yeah. It's fine. Crushed.
Yeah. So he stood up to it now, and he's kind of trying to go it alone, which I think is a bit of a stupid move.
Probably.
It's like, oh, there's 5 of them and 1 of me. I'll be fine.
But he's broken out the black jeans. He's serious now.
Are they jeans or are they joggers?
They're like jegging kind of.
Jeggings, that's the one I was
elasticated.
Yeah. It's like
jean
tracksuits mixed
trousers.
with jeans. Yeah, it's
They got pockets. That's what counts.
And like, I'd like Orange Cassidy, but to me, he's a small doses kind of person. He's been getting better on the mic.
Yes.
He's actually been doing mic work, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And kind of being a bit more serious.
Yeah.
Which I think is definitely needed after all the years of laxness. relaxed state.
Yeah, I really
I don't know what
enjoy
to call
that,
it.
but the it was very much lazy wrestling.
Yeah.
But the development it's been slow, but it needed to be.
Yeah.
And he's got to this serious state. He's still doing the hands in the pockets, but it's more an act of defiance rather than anything else.
And I think this whole "I'm going to do it alone" thing would be much better if he wasn't in yet another faction.
Yeah.
Because all he does is bounce from faction to faction. And it's like, don't you think you should maybe stand on your own for a little bit?
I feel like he needs the faction a little bit.
Well, that's the problem, is when he's in a faction, he hasn't got a chance to break out and show his actual mic skills or singular. You know, he's always relying on someone else. And I don't feel that's giving a good representation of him as an individual wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to say that. I mean, obviously, it's going back to sort of Dynamite last night. He obviously took on Wheeler Yuta, and he's been trying to drag Wheeler Yuta back out of the Death Riders, not BCC. I'm glad they changed from Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah.
They should have done that when William Regal left.
Yeah, none of them are British.
Death Riders.
You're not from Blackpool. Wait.
Pac's
British. He's like on the edges of it, though. He always stands a little bit off.
But he's still British.
Okay, he's British.
He's from Newcastle.
I forgot about Pac, all right? Calm down, please.
But I do, obviously, the Death Riders, I think that's a really cool name. I really like that. The downside of it, I don't like that little kind of stinger of music, like the 3-4 seconds thing before they start playing extra music. I think that's pointless. I do like Claudio Castagnoli's new theme song.
Yeah, very cool. Darker twist.
Yeah. So, as I say, Wheeler Yuta fought Orange Cassidy on Dynamite last night, and he lost.
Yeah.
Obviously, the rest of the Death Riders, and he said BCC then. Obviously, the rest of the Death Riders were a bit miffed at him, and Claudio kind of gave him a bit of a scathing look. But they did come out, they started beating him down. Nobody came out to save Orange because he literally told them to stay in the back. They mockingly stood him up, put his hands in his pockets, Orange Cassidy, that is, duct taped his arms so he couldn't move his arms. And in defiance, Orange Cassidy kind of still gets up and starts doing his little soft kicks to John Moxley. And it's like...
That's cool.
Okay. I don't think we'll see any of the soft kicks at Full Gear, though.
There weren't any in
Cassidy needs to turn that dial right up to 11.
Yeah.
To get anywhere close to winning this.
For sure.
Moxley ain't taking prisoners right now.
No.
As we've seen, hammers, wrenches, plastic bags, chairs, anything goes. They are trying to murder people pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anything else you got to say this one?
I think it's going to be brutal. I know it's not like a stipulation match or anything, but it's going to be hard hitting and there'll probably be blood.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think in this case, Orange will probably bleed before Moxley.
Yeah, I think so.
Who you got?
Moxley.
Any reason why?
Because the moment he loses, the whole Death Riders thing loses everything. And they've got a mission and a calling, so to speak, I suppose, and they need to bulldoze a few more so-called leaders before they reach a climax. I don't know where the climax is going to take it, but I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, I think. I agree. Moxley's retaining, and kind of what I was backing away from just now is that if Orange Cassidy wins this now, to me, he's nothing more than a champ that doesn't necessarily need to hold the title, in the sense that he can't stand on his own 2 feet.
Yeah.
He's always got someone backing up. Kind of look at, this probably isn't the right way to go about it, but Konosuke Takeshita, he's always got the Don Callis family there to help him win.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it. It makes him less of a legitimate champion in my mind. Same thing with Orange Cassidy now. If he wins this title, conglomeration are always there.
Yeah. He's got the title because he's got friends.
It's not good. He needs to be on his own. And I think Orange Cassidy's been burning this candle at both ends.
Yeah.
I think after this match, Moxley wins. After the match, they're going to beat Cassidy down so brutally, he's going to be out for a few months.
Take a break. Comes back.
I think it's needed.
Comes back different. Comes back lone wolf. Start of a new chapter.
Yep. Darby Allin, I think, will be the next contender for Moxley.
Yeah. He needs a break as well, so that sounds good.
He kind of does, yeah. I really don't know who could take Moxley down, at this point. Maybe Will Ospreay, but he needs to build it up.
Yeah, someone needs building alongside this happening, I think.
slight tangent.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega has
Uh-huh.
said that if it's feasible, if New Japan want it, if Gabe Kidd wants it, if the fans want it, he will fight Gabe Kidd
Mhm.
at Wrestle Dynasty on January 5th. Looks like Kenny Omega's cleared.
Could Kenny
will
be the
by
one?
that point. No, I don't think it'll be Kenny.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be Kenny. Kenny's obviously beaten Moxley before.
Yeah.
But I think if they were to replay that, it wouldn't be for the title.
Okay.
I don't think that would be right.
I'll have to wait and see.
I can have a think about that and let that stew in my head.
Mm.
And that leads us on to the most anticipated match of the night.
Whoop, whoop.
Not the main event. And that's going to be the new tag team champions, Private Party, defending their world tag team titles against the Outrunners, the Acclaimed, and the Kings of the Black Throne.
Mm.
Oh, this is going to be straight fire.
It's
This match is going to be insane.
chaos.
So you got quite a wide range of different people in this one. Private Party is the kind of the flippy guys. Outrunners are kind of the muscle guys. Kings of the Black Throne are just kick people's faces in guys. And the Acclaimed are let's have a bit of fun with mind games guys.
And possibly implode also.
Yeah. So, as we've already alluded to, during the Jack Perry match, the Young Bucks lost their tag team championships against Private Party on Friday Night Dynamite, unfortunately. The Outrunners, so then there was not so much a tournament, like qualifying matches for this 4-way title match at Full Gear. Outrunners beat Top Flight to get in the match. The Kings of the Black Throne beat FTR, which I was shocked over, and I'm glad.
And they had a nice, sportsmanship moment at the end, which
and
was
that match was great as well,
Mm-hmm.
And the Acclaimed beat Los Facción Ingobernables, which is okay, I kind of wish it was LFI.
Yeah.
But I guess this kind of furthers the Acclaimed storyline, the way that Max Caster and Anthony Bowens are kind of not on the same page.
Yeah.
MVP's trying to recruit Caster, and it's
egos are at play.
Acclaimed are breaking down. And I'm not upset about it.
No.
I'm not upset about it at all.
It was they were floundering.
Yeah.
They need something. And the threat of a breakup is kind of giving them a bit of a different spin, making them interesting again.
I think these guys being solo for a bit could do wonders for them.
Yeah.
Because they're both great. But I feel that Max kind of holds Bowens back in the sense that it's always got to be about the mic game.
Yeah.
Bowens holds Max back by being the better wrestler.
Yeah.
Anthony Bowens is a better wrestler than Max Caster.
Even though Max Caster is the best wrestler alive.
Yeah. I personally feel like Bowens is a better wrestler than Caster. And I just feel there's too much I'm better than you with this, I'm better than that. And it's kind of it's kind of coming to a head a little bit. Not necessarily in that aspect, but you can see there is tension there.
Yeah.
But
if they break up, who gets daddy ass?
Bowens. Bowens remain in the face.
I thought they might have a daddy ass on a pole match.
It'll be Bowens because if anything, it'll be Bowens. Otherwise, he'll just go off on his own.
Yeah, Caster's ego needs to be.
If anything,
solo.
Caster will end up going with MVP and have a great solo run.
Yeah.
With MVP because they don't. Shelton Benjamin's a solo wrestler.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley's a solo wrestler. They just happen to be in a faction together.
Yeah.
With MVP. Doesn't necessarily mean they have to start tagging up.
Cool.
You can still have a good solo run. Yeah, you can still have a good solo run. I think Caster would look really good in a suit. Imagine coming out in a suit, spitting into a mic. That'd be weird, but it'd be something fresh.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool.
I mean, there's nothing really much else to say about this. There hasn't been any sort of altercations or anything between any of the 4 teams. Aside from the qualifying matches, which with each other.
Yeah.
Acclaimed have been watching from the rampway for all of the qualifying matches, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just going to say it once more, I am stoked the Kings of the Black Throne are in this.
Yes.
Any other words from you on this one?
Oh, it's going to be so good.
It's going to be great.
Oh, it's so good. It's going to be hard,
So
maybe hard to keep track of at times, but...
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I'm hoping,
it's a good tag match.
given that it's a 4-way, I'm hoping one member of each team will be legal at all times.
It never is, though, is it?
With AEW, it can be, yeah. It can be.
Fingers crossed.
Any other words?
No?
Who you got?
I think Private Party should retain.
But?
I think that is going to be, super close. I feel like, because I am going to go for Private Party.
Okay.
Because it's so new... I think it would be a wasted opportunity if they lost it this early.
Yeah.
But I'm actually looking forward to seeing how they pull it off, if that is what happens. Because there's some really strong teams in this match.
Brody King's a monster.
Yeah, and to me, Private Party, in my mind, they're like, maybe not the top of this lot. So the others, but they've got some sneaky tactics and great teamwork. So it's gonna be a really interesting one because it's not necessarily the strong team that's gonna win it.
No. I'm the same. I'm going for Private Party. As you say, I think it's too soon for them to lose it. It'll be like 3 weeks in and they're losing it. They're not going to do that. I think the way I see this going is that Bowens will take the hit. He will get the pin or the submission, whatever it is. And that'll implode Max Caster. We always lose because of you. Yeah. And that's where
that's where it'll really kick off.
Yeah, that's where it's going to start the headbutting. And I think that's either going to split there or it's really going to start kicking off that whole rift a lot deeper, a lot wider than what it already is. All right, cool. So that was our predictions for this amazingly stacked event.
It's so stacked.
And now comes to the part that Leanne absolutely hates. What's your least looking forward to match?
Obviously, it's the pre-show match with What's-His-Face versus QT Marshall. That's the easiest one we've ever done.
If you had to pick one off the main card, I already know the answer to this.
It's the women's match. Yeah. The one women's match.
I know, there's only one women's match. However, I reckon there'll be like some sort of tag match or something in the pre-show,
hopefully.
I reckon.
Yeah, the women's division.
But then that, we have got the championship celebration, so that's
there'll be a pretty good goal with it. I don't know.
There'll be something.
Yes.
I think I'm the same. It's going to be that big Boom AJ guy.
I'm just not interested.
And it's there's just been there's like if you're going to do build up, at least show little snippets and go. You can see more on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook, on our Instagram, whatever.
If it was like a social media person that I followed, then I'd probably feel differently. But
because the thing is, like, obviously, we do social media for our channel and whatnot. I saw this like 4 weeks ago, like the card for it, and I'm like, the hell is that?
4 weeks ago. They haven't mentioned.
And only now has this guy been showing up to Dynamite, and it's like, what the hell is this?
Busy man, you know.
That's one of the and again, we rag on WWE a lot of the time because of the choices. This is a really bad choice by AEW. And when something is bad, we are fair. We will say that it's bad.
Watch now. Someone's like, "Oh, it's not a bad idea. I love this guy." And fair enough. If you love him,
you love him. I don't know who the hell this guy is.
Really
I've been watching wrestling since 1996, and I don't know who this guy is.
It's probably somewhere on the indies, right? I don't know.
God knows. Most looking forward to match.
This is real tough. There's so many good ones. I think I'm gonna have to go for the tag champs though. Yeah. That is just stacked.
Yeah. It's either that or Fletcher and Ospreay.
Yeah.
But I think that tag match is just gonna be chaotic, frenetic energy, and it's gonna just outpace it.
Even the Bobby Lashley match is up there.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
And Swerve.
I mean, there's no dud match. Well,
there's a dud match.
Not including the 0 hour, there's still a dud match.
Yeah. The one dud match. Everything else
Statlander's going to carry it. So, but yeah, this is another stat card by AEW. So thank you, Tony Khan.
Thank you, Tony Khan.
As always.
And there's not even going to be filler, so I won't be able to like check my phone and stuff in between because I have to have my eyes glued to the screen. Damn you, Tony Khan! I love you.
All right, take us away, Leanne.
Thank you so much for watching. We will be back with our reactions to Full Gear, which will be on Sunday. So tune in. 24th. Please like this video if you liked it, hit subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we drop new videos, including our reactions. Follow us on socials. Our link tree's in the description below, which will take you to Facebook, Instagram and X. Talk to us on our socials or in the comments. Like we said at the beginning, let us know if you can really neatly give us a background of why that early match is
big
good.
Boom AJ. Yeah.
What happened? Give us the rundown. And let us know if you're not counting that. What is your least favorite match on this card?
And why is it Mercedes Mone and Kris Statlander?
That's about it, though. We will see you on Sunday. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, enjoy wrestling. Bye.
Club.